the Secretary General of the 15th World Forestry Congress, and who will give an introduction into the preparations completed so far by the host country. So without much ado, I would hand over the microphone to Elsie. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. My name is Eun-sik Park. I'm a Director General of International Affairs Bureau of Korea Forest Service, and also I'm working for the Secretariat for the 15th World Forest Congress. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening. Distinguished online participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome all of you to the 15th World Forestry Congress Informational Webinar. The world is facing growing challenges to its health and future. Against this backdrop, the importance of forest has grown to the extent that one cannot overemphasize it. Most of all, the forests are recognized as a key nature-based solution to tackle the ever-worsening climate crisis. As we are all aware, the Glasgow Leaders Declaration on Forest and Land Use was adopted at UNFCCC COP26, held in the UK last November. 141 heads of the state signed and agreed to prevent and restore forest loss and land degradation by 2030. The Glasgow Leaders Declaration demonstrates the worldwide consensus on the significance of conserving and restoring forests, which is the key to responding to the climate crisis by achieving carbon neutrality. The prolonged impact of the pandemic is driving home to us the importance of building back better in a post-COVID-19 world. And I'm certain that building a green, healthy, and resilient future with forests is a necessary path we should take. And this is the very theme of the 15th World Forest Congress. There is about a month left until the opening of the 15th World Forest Congress. We are very much looking forward to seeing you or in person at the Congress, which will be bustling with life, energy, and lively exchanges. The Secretary is currently employing many ways of the securing participants from forestry stakeholders around the world. Also, the Secretariat has secured over 8,000 registrants from forestry-related institutions, groups, and governments. The Secretariat has used its best effort to establish a thorough all quarantine systems, which ultimately allows everyone to participate in the Congress with ease of mind. For the participant safety, Korea Forest Service has consulted with the relevant authorities and prepared a case-by-case quarantine manual. The agency plans to respond quickly to all emergency. All you are here must have a wide range of experience and in-depth knowledge in forestry and related fields. I would like to ask you all to stay involved with the World Forest Congress preparation and provide valuable comments and input on how the World Forest Congress can be an innovative forum. Based on your engagement, we can bring stakeholders together to address the global challenges, leverage partnerships, and promote forest as a central pillar in global and national recovery effort. Your input are indeed building blocks of the successful Congress in 2022. I wish you all a fruitful webinar today. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park, also for putting the Congress into the global context and highlighting its relevance for the forest sector and for the years to come. And now that Dr. Park has referred to some of the preparations that has already been made by the host country to make sure that all the participants will enjoy super condition and perfect security while there, I would like to give the floor to colleagues from the Korea Forest Service who will be providing the details on these preparations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noel Kim from the Secretariat. The Secretariat colleagues have put together a series of frequently asked questions, and which we'll be discussing here at the webinar. and hope this would be useful to participate in the Congress. I will start give you some short briefings on important Congress updates. Let me start with the Congress modalities. Congress modality. For a vibrant and dynamic Congress, opening and closing, high-level dialogue, and ministerial roundtable session speakers will attend the Congress in person, and all other sessions can accommodate a hybrid format. Next is about virtual participation. For those who are unavailable to travel to Korea due to difficulties in travel, the WFC Secretariat intends to send a streaming link of the official Congress programs. This option is only for those who signed up online on the official World Forestry Congress website without a registration fee. About this virtual participation, this option of virtual participation registration includes web streaming, and this will be available at the online registration page starting from April 5th. As you see on the screen, when you can log in to your websites and click the virtual participation and the category, and you can access to the online registration. Next, please. And next is about registration. The Secretariat is offering a special registration discount of 20% for those who missed the early bird registration. It is only available until April 15th. No online registration is needed to attend a pre-Congress event, and it is free of charge. To participate in pre-Congress events, one must go to the pre-Congress registration desk to fill in necessary information, and receive pre-Congress entrance tags. Next is about visa information. Those who have completed the registration should contact their local embassy of the Republic of Korea to check the required documents and to obtain the necessary visa for entry into the country. Please note that a letter supporting your visa application is one of the required documents for visa issuance. The visa letter can be obtained by logging into your WFC account and printing your visa letter from my page. KETA is for nationals of 62 visa waiver countries and nationals of 34 designated visa-free countries. For details, please refer to the notice, KETA application guide of official KETA website. Thank you. And next is about quarantine measures.
Thank you all for coming and participating. My name is Karan Park, Program Officer at the 15th World Forestry Congress Secretariat. Let me share the important information for your traveling to the Republic of Korea. First of all, please note that the quarantine has been waived for vaccinated entrants. However, you must have a negative PCR test result to board an inbound flight to Korea as well as to enter the country. You can register in the Q-code system before boarding your flight to Korea to facilitate a more concise procedure during immigrations. Also, participants must have a negative PCR test result taken within 48 hours of the date of departure. Next slide, please. Thank you. A PCR test facility will be installed within the Congress venue for participants to use before departure. To ensure participants' safety, the Korea Forest Service has acquired self-administered testing kits in mass quantities. There will be a designated area for PCR testing in the Congress venue. Details will be updated on the website. The Republic of Korea will manage the safety of in-person participants carefully and thoroughly by putting effective precautions in place at the Congress venue, such as social distancing, ventilation, and a mask mandate. The Republic of Korea's current response to COVID-19 can be found on the WFC website. As the host country, the Republic of Korea will make sure to hold the 15th World Forestry Congress in a venue that is well protected from risks of infection. It will have robust preventive measures in place, allowing for in-person meetings and interaction among participants. We hope to see you in person at the Congress. That will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Yang Park, the Convention Specialist of the WFC Secretariat, and I will be presenting the details of the Congress venue. FOEX is located in the Gangnam District. It has provided a global platform for people and businesses to come together to exhibitions and conferences. The venue is comprised of 4 exhibition halls and around 50 meeting rooms. Various facilities and equipment are also prepared for the participants. I go through the major programs on each floor and their locations. The exhibition and themed events will be held on the first floor. A registration desk and the information center are also located here. More than 250 booths will be installed in the exhibition hall, and various programs are also prepared for the participants. The 6 sub-theme events will be held on the first and second floors, plus the Secretariat and the main office are located here. The main event, opening, closing, and the plenary session will be held on the third floor in the largest room, room number 1. Next door is the hall where a special events will be held. In the room 5 and 6, side events and networking events are prepared. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. The main events, opening, closing, and plenary sessions will be held on the third floor in the largest room, room number 1. Next door is hall where a special event will be held in room 5 and 6. Side events and networking events are prepared. A post session will be held in room 4 and the participant lounge is room 3. As we mentioned earlier, disease control measure will be implemented in all conference rooms for participant safety. Please note that some programs will be held in the hybrid format. The concludes in instruction of the Congress venue. Thank you for the listening.
Next, I will briefly tell you about the financial support scheme. The potential beneficiaries were announced last March 28th. Depending on the results of the document reviews, they can be confirmed as the final beneficiaries. Next is about sponsorship. There are 5 levels of sponsorship: diamond, platinum, gold, and silver, and bronze. They are all available. Sponsorship includes complimentary Congress registrations. More information is available at the Congress website. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm supposed to continue with the program now. As you can see from the program overview that's available on the website, we have put together an exciting set of events. It starts even before the Congress with 5 pre-Congress events that are free of charge and that you can attend without having to register for the Congress, as you just heard. There's a networking event by young professionals. There is a digital and social media workshop. There are 2 training events by the International Forestry Students Association and an event by AFOCO on research and capacity building in Asia. And then, as you probably also know, there are 6 sub-themes of the main theme of the Congress. And for each of these sub-themes, there will be 5 technical sessions. These will take place parallel. And for each of these sessions, we have put together a program of speakers, of panel discussions, of keynote speeches, and so on and so forth. And we will go into this a little bit later. There are also 4 plenary sessions. The first one is on ecosystem restoration. A second one on forests for a healthier world, focusing on health and forests. There will be one on forest products, especially wood as the most ancient raw material that will be leading us. And there will be a final plenary that brings it all together and summarizes the outcomes of the other sessions. In addition, there will be 16 special events on a range of different topics. For example, there will be a high-level dialogue right after the opening. There will be a ministerial forum on forest finance, another ministerial roundtable on sustainable wood. There will be a special event on bioenergy, on forests and the bioeconomy. And there will be, for example, also 2 one-day special events. One is dedicated to fire, and the other is on forestry. We have also approximately 140 side events that are spread throughout the Congress, and of course some special features like an exhibition, poster sessions that take place on 3 days. We have a speakers corner that is particularly dedicated to those who want to make a presentation but have not found a space in the main program, and they can speak there, and there will be also an area for accommodating the audience. And there are a number of networking events. Next slide. Okay, here is the overview again, and you have this on the website, and you can see how the different types of events are distributed throughout the week. Our next speaker will explain to you what is behind this overview, because as of today, you can click on the individual sessions on the website, and then you will, but I will not talk about that anymore. I pass over to Yuka, who will explain this to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So just recently, just yesterday, we have launched our program website where you'll be able to see our sessions during the week, including a little bit of description on each of the sessions. And we'll be continuing to update this website. So please do frequently visit our Congress program website. Very soon as we have, for example, the speakers confirmed, they'll start appearing on this website, so that there will be exciting things coming up with different updates along the way. The website is currently available in the 4 languages: English, French, Spanish, and Korean. Of course, there may be a little bit of updates with the translations. So, but everything is there. We're making updates very often. To everyone who has this link is able to see the program contents, but to have a full experience of this website, you will need to register on the Congress website, earlier mentioned by our colleagues, for you to have the entire experience of this website. And just to add, what Eva has mentioned, we did overall receive over 2,000 abstracts, voluntary abstracts for papers, posters, and videos from more than 100 countries. So I take this opportunity to thank you all very much for your active participation and your submissions of your very valuable work to us. All the accepted submissions will be made accessible on this program website about 1 week before the Congress. So that's also coming up. So please do check our website very frequently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. And at the end of this set of presentations, let me just recall the most important upcoming deadlines. The financial support scheme that was mentioned by Korean colleagues will conclude the section. Actually, it has concluded the session by the 28th of March, and the notifications and the collection of information is going on now. As you may recall, colleagues mentioned that the online registration is open till the 15th of April. This registration system applies to physical participation. And then please note also that the discounted hotel rates are available till the 20th of April. It certainly does not mean that all the rooms that we would like to select are available, because it depends on how others will make bookings, but at least the system itself is operational till the 20th of April. And then on-site registration for in-person participants will also be possible during the whole period of the Congress. So these were the deadlines that we wanted to bring to your attention. And then before we go to the Q&A session that is going to be very rich, we would like to show you a nice teaser increasing your appetite towards the Congress. Thank you very much. So this is what will await us in Korea. And this is a film that not only you could see, but hopefully many other people around the world, because this has been used for a while for advertising the Congress multiple channels. And now I would like to suggest to move to the questions, and there were indeed many. We may not be able to address all of them in this session because some are rather specific and rather complex, but I can promise that answers will be provided for all questions, if not now, then subsequently in writing. And we would like to go through some of them who or which are easier to address now. If you don't mind, I would summarize them and present for answers so that we don't go question by question, but rather by cluster of issues. Several of you asked about whether there will be a list of participants available in advance prior to the Congress so that you can come prepared. That would help you liaising with other colleagues from all over the world. So the question is, will this list be made available in advance? And certainly I would appreciate if somebody from the Secretariat would answer the question. That's the reason for the silence here. KFS colleagues, would it be possible, because you are handling the list, so would it be possible to make the list available?
Okay,
Hello,
think
Peter and Tony.
Hello. Sorry, could we just give the floor to Noel to answer this?
Thank you, Peter. I hope I can answer some of your questions and give you some clarifications. There are people asking about the proof of vaccination. Which document is accepted for proof of vaccinations? Are national vaccination cards accepted? Proof of vaccinations, if you are vaccinated for the if you are vaccinated with 2 doses or 3 doses, you are considered as fully vaccinated. And only the vaccines that was approved by the WHO is accepted, and the vaccine approval of vaccination is could be issued on the clinic or near hospitals. And also these vaccination documents have to be translated in English or Korean to be certified in this country. Would that answer some of your questions?
Yes, thank you, Noel. It would answer some of the questions related to this, but maybe you want to advise also on a question that was related to Q code system. A participant asked if the Q code system could or should be filled in within 48 hours to depart because of the validity of the PCR test. Is this the case?
Yes, the Q code systems have to be filled in before entering the country, and the Q code systems have to fill in the Q code system. You need necessary passport informations, and also your basic health informations, and most of all your vaccine certifications. And after entering in the necessary informations, you will go through quarantine procedures in Korea.
Okay, and then the access to the QR system is a public information that is available on the website, right?
Exactly.
Very good, thank you very much. And then a somewhat related question was from Vietnam. If colleagues from Vietnam are expected to spend a 7-day quarantine upon arrival to Korea. I think you partly answered this, but if you would repeat the answer, that would be great.
Okay, for those who are fully vaccinated, the 7-day quarantines are exempt here in Korea right now, which is very good news. And also this applies to travelers from Vietnam as well.
Thank you very much, and that certainly applies not only to colleagues from Vietnam, from all countries who are fully vaccinated, and there is a news item on the website that provides you all details, including the vaccines that are accepted vaccination. And somebody asked if recovery from COVID qualifies as equivalent vaccination, and our understanding that not in this case you need to be vaccinated really by the one of the 10 accepted vaccines. Then another question, a group of questions that was related to payments, and colleagues are asking whether those who have already paid the high registration fee before the discount was introduced, and also speakers who paid the registration fee, will they be reimbursed and how? I want to give this answer as well.
Okay, so those who have already registered the early bird registration, we will give you reimbursements, and actually the reimbursements are in progress right now. And also who are visiting in person to the Congress, we will also give you reimbursement in person as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And then there are other payment-related questions like difficulties with paying the visa costs, etc. I think it's better to take those individually because most likely this is very difficult to give a generic answer for that. So I would move to another set of questions, and that was related to the selection of presentations, the notification about the selection and method of delivery of the material that is going to be presented there. Maybe this is something that you may wish to start answering, and colleagues can chip in after that.
I'm sorry, I didn't really hear the last part. Can you repeat yourself?
Yes, so it's a question is about the selection of the submitted material for presentation, the notification about the selection, and the method of delivery of the material that is going to be selected, presented, sorry, and I was suggesting that Yuka starts answering this question and your colleagues chip in as needed. Thank you.
Peter, I don't think Yuka is connected right now, maybe?
Am I cut off? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm. And I see like Yuka has just disappeared from the screen. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a connection issue on her side. So maybe I try to answer this in her absence. So the voluntary presentations that were selected or the voluntary contributions that were selected, when the selection was completed, those authors have already been notified about this. There were a couple of papers that were selected conditionally, meaning that the authors were offered an opportunity to revise their paper and improve it along certain lines that the reviewers identified. And for them, there was an additional time provided for this. This part is ongoing right now and will be completed in the coming days. And the colleagues whose submission fell into the category are expected to receive a confirmation of the selection or the rejection in coming days. And then finally, yes, there will be a need for delivering material in advance. So we would like to avoid that pen drives are being taken to the computers in the room and presentation uploaded. And everybody who is a presenter will be provided with detailed information on how to submit their materials. Then also in the session logistics, there's a question here about the cost of interpretation, and that is who would cost the interpretation cost of a session in this case. I think this is a question that KFS colleagues can answer best. Did you hear my question, colleagues? Also informed that the session is recorded and will be placed on the YouTube channel for the benefit of those who are not able to join this time but would like to watch it later on.
Recording in progress. So, could you repeat again, please? Sorry.
Yeah, do you hear me? Please confirm if I am heard.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, so the question was who will cover the cost of the interpretation?
So about the payment of interpretations, the side events, for the side events, interpretation fees have to be paid by the organizers, but the main for the main program, the Secretariat, the WFC Secretariat will cover the fee for the interpretations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. There is another question related to the registration. That the question is whether registration for virtual participation, will that be possible after the 15th of April deadline?
Yes, it will be available after April 15th through the InWink website.
Thank you. And then there are several questions related to the Q code system, but they were partly addressed, and also mentioned that the detailed description is available on the website, and we would like to encourage you to visit the use section and consult the document that is contained there. Then there was another question regarding the notification of being a beneficiary of the financial support scheme. Noel quickly mentions, but maybe you would like to repeat how the system is working and what is happening these days.
Okay, it's about the financial support scheme. We have already notified the potential beneficiaries via email. Notification emails were sent on 28 March. And for those who haven't received any emails, there are either two groups. One groups who didn't input the right email, valid email address, or other group who are not eligible for the first place. So those who are so currently we are in the process of selection, and the selections will be finalized as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then there's another question here regarding the networking opportunities, and somebody is asking if there would be a system like VUVA used during the Congress to support this. Well, we are not using Woowa, we are using another system, InWing here. So then if you are relying on Woowa, that most likely will not work in this case, but the InWing provides you several opportunities to get a full information of what is happening, how and where. So that will also help you in that sense. And then colleagues are mentioning here the difficulties around guaranteeing that 70% of the speakers will indeed be present at each and every hybrid sessions. I think this is something that is being carefully studied and analyzed by the host country, and an appropriate decision will be taken in good time. But maybe Dr. Park is willing to elaborate further on this element.
Hi, colleagues. Actually, I will be answering in Dr. Park's stead. My name is Angela Kim, and I'm also part of the World Forestry Congress Secretariat. And so the segment that Peter just asked upon, we are trying to facilitate a hybrid session for sessions other than the opening and closing ceremony, as well as the high-level dialogue and the ministerial forums will all be in-person events, but the other events and sessions other than that will be facilitating hybrid events. I see a couple of questions that are asking if all side events are hybrid. This is not going to be the case. It is up to the side event organizers to facilitate a hybrid event or not. And so that will be up to each session, and that will be addressed differently according to their decisions.
Thank you very much, Angela. And while we are talking about the hybrid session, some of the colleagues are asking about how the hybrid session will work, what kind of facilities are helping to connect the physical and the virtual audiences. Maybe you may wish to say a couple of words also about those.
Sure, thank you. So the side events are going to be open to hybrid events, and the volume and size and the actual method of it is also up to the side event organizers, but this will be mostly using Zoom as the platform. And we will be, some of the equipment will be provided by the venue itself. And we are also negotiating other terms and looking into ways that site event organizers can facilitate an event to their liking. And so this will be posted in the individual flyers that each site event organizer will send out. And you may choose which event you would like to attend once you see the flyers.
Thank you very much, Angela. And if I may add to this, last week we were in Korea, and actually a global congress went on in the COEX Center, so we were able to get a little bit of preview of how they're operating. And I can tell you that the audiovisual facilities were really superb, excellent quality, huge screens and perfect sound. So the technical side of the event seems to be as good as it can be. Since we are talking about the Congress itself, there are some questions here asking about study tours, field trips, and potential post-Congress activities. Maybe colleagues from Korea would like to shed some more light on that as well. And if it's you, Angela, or somebody else from the team.
Sure, thank you. So after the Congress, we will have a tour ready for our participants. It will be on the Saturday and the end of the week, which will be the 7th. And so this is open to a first come, first served basis. And so we will soon also have more information about how to apply to these tours, but the locations are already up on the website. So you can refer to that, see where the tours are going to be at, and choose where you would like to go.
Thank you very much, Angela. Somewhat similar question whether there will be opportunity, space and time provided for networking and for colleagues or groups coming from various parts of the world meet within the Congress venue. I think the answer is definitely a strong yes, but I give the floor back to you to provide more detail.
Sure, we also have several networking events as well, not to mention the pre-Congress events. And so these are also open for all participants. The matter and manner of how these will be done is also facilitated by each organizer for these networking events. And these are still in the developing process. So we will have more information as they come in from these organizers as well up on the website.
Thank you very much, Angela. Then there are questions here about the interpretation, whether this will be simultaneous and successive. This is going to be a simultaneous interpretation, obviously. That's the intention here. 4 languages, the 4 official languages of the Congress, and Korean. Then there were a couple of questions regarding access to the virtual part, whether there will be a link provided, how will that happen? Again, I don't see my colleague Yuka Iri on the call. Are you with us, Yuka?
Yes, I am. I'm back. Sorry about this.
Then over to you for this.
Yes, thank you. So on the Congress website, under each of the page for each of the session, you will see a link on the day at the time of the session is going to be run for you to access these events if you have been registered to the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we roughly went through the issues that were raised by the question. What some are more specific than others, as I mentioned. We would try to address those, especially the very specific one directly with colleagues who asked that bit about a certain embassy issuing and not issuing a visa letter and questions like that. Just one more time for clarification. So the visa letter is an automated function that is available on the website. Maybe Noel wants to repeat the information in this regard.
Okay, about the visa letter, you can print it out and after logging into the website, and you can print it out at the My page. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then there's one question that popped up in the chat right now. When do we get an invitation letter and business registration number of KFS so that we could apply visa to avoid delays? What would be the answer to that question?
So I can answer that question. We have given the appropriate business registration number of KFS to our COEX colleagues who are also in charge of the venue. And if you write to the registration account that we have for WFC, you can receive more information as well as the necessary additional documents that you need for your visa application.
Thank you, Angela. And there's one question that popped up again, and that was repeated also earlier, and that is about whether the virtual participants can get a certificate. I'm not sure that I fully understand the question, but if somebody can clarify either what certificate is meant or if you understand what the question relates to, then I would appreciate your response.
I also am not exactly sure what Dr. Sarada would like, what kind of certification he would like, but usually the only certification or invitation letter that we provide is to facilitate the visa application process. So other than that, we don't have any specified certification necessary. And so I don't think you would be needing additional documents for online participation.
Thank you, Angela. And maybe just to stay on the safe side, if you could repeat the information related to the receipt of the letter, so that colleagues can continue after selecting the pay later option in the registration. When will this the status which is at this stage pending, where will that be changed into complete if somebody goes on the pay later option?
Thank you. So this is the pay later option should only be used by speakers that were confirmed by the Secretariat. And this is only used because we do excuse the registration fees for speakers. And so what you would need to do is, if you are a confirmed speaker, you click the pay later option during your registration process, and then you will find that the registration stops. And so this is the end of the steps that you would need to take. And we would then give the list of speakers that we have received from your respective organizers. And we would give that list to our COEX colleagues, and they would confirm that you are a speaker, and then finish and confirm your status of registration. So no need to make any further efforts if you are a confirmed speaker after that.
Thank you very much. And here's a proposal that I think we should take very seriously and maybe respond to it positively, that while the main sessions appear to be well understood and well under control, maybe a specific webinar just for the organizers of side events would be helpful. So I think this is a good proposal, and if you agree with this, colleagues in KFS, we may think about organizing one just for that purpose. And then Gertrude is asking about this related to the financial support, that the notification does not really indicate that the cost of travel is covered by the host, and that would be needed for the visa application process. So again, could you colleagues explain how exactly this information will be brought to the attention of the beneficiaries and through them to the respective diplomatic services?
Thank you, Gertrude, for your question. Usually for general participants, your costs must be covered by yourself, and so this cannot be included in the invitation letter. But if you are a financial support beneficiary, then we will have a separate letter for this. And so unless you have a problem with your visa or any other documentation work from your Korean embassy, I don't think this would be needed to be included in your invitation letter. But if you do, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Secretariat. We have a info account to answer your questions, as well as registration and visa accounts as well. And we can always facilitate and help you with your process. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. And then another question here that I think is just a request for reinforcing information that has already been shared. First, on how exactly then the event organizers should register. Should they go the pay later way? And then also whether the side event speakers are exempt from paying a registration fee or not. I think this is mentioned, but if you could repeat, that would be helpful.
Sure, thank you. So the pay later option should only be used by speakers. These are, and I would like to clarify that side event speakers are not excused from the registration fee, as this is more of an event that each organizer is individually organizing. And so this is the status of how to use the pay later option. And so that would only be open to confirmed speakers for the plenary and sub-theme sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. And then, as we mentioned, there are some concrete visa-related questions, specific issues related to certain types of visa, related to certain embassies. This is something that the Secretariat colleagues will address with you directly, because that most likely require a written correspondence rather than an oral response here. One question that is more generic from the same category is that whether the Secretariat will send an official document to embassies overseas to help proceed visa procedures. I assume that this is meant to be covered by the visa letter that could be downloaded automatically from the website, but you may wish to confirm this or correct me on this.
Yes, thank you. Actually, that was an answer from part of the Secretariat, and she was helping facilitate answers. This is actually going to be something that the Secretariat will be reaching out to very soon. We are going to send out official documentation to each embassy of all of our participants worldwide, and we will be asking for their cooperation to further facilitate with the visa application process. And so we are trying to do our best to accommodate to our participants and make sure that everyone can get their visas in time to address and attend the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. I think we mostly went through the questions that were shared in the chat. I see one more popping up. Let me try to get that. So the authors of the accepted papers, are they still expecting to receive an invitation or an email to present virtually at the Congress? And if so, by when should such an invitation be shared? I think, Jukka, in your absence, I explained that some have already been selected and others notified. And another set was rewrote it for additional review after corrections, which is being made as we speak, more or less. You may wish to provide further information on this.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for covering what you've said is correct. And in terms of a virtual presentation for the speakers corner, we're currently not planning to have a virtual session, so that will be for physical participants. But if things do change, we'll definitely let everyone know so that if anyone who's interested can also join us.
Thank you very much, Jukka. I'm looking at the chat, I'm looking at the screen, and I don't see other questions popping up. Again, the recording will certainly be made available, so that could be watched again, and we will provide responses to the specific questions that were not addressed in the discussion in writing, especially those which relate to particular cases and particular persons. Mostly engaged with administrative processes. So I think this was a rather intense exchange here, and then having 120 participants at the call, if we count the number of questions, it's fair to say that at least one question came from every participant as a statistical average, which is not a bad result for a webinar. We are very grateful for these questions because they help us to address the already the still pending issues and improve the system wherever it deserves or requires an improvement. Okay, there is one question that popped up at the last, and I think this was the question at the very beginning, which we, due to a technical glitch, did not answer, and that was the availability of the list of participants so that colleagues could prepare for better liaison. I don't know who is best placed in answering the question that the list of participants will be available somehow for the other participants. I wonder if this is a question to Korea or whether to the FAO team.
Yeah, this is the Secretary General. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we have more than 8,000 audience who registered in physical attendance. So I don't know who wants the whole list of the 8,000 participants, but I think the question is the list of the speakers, panelists. Maybe on the website we will surely share the speakers or panelists list of their name. So this is the answer from my side.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park, and I think Yuka has something important to add to this.
Yeah, so all the speakers, eventually they'll also be appearing on this program website that we've mentioned a bit earlier. And very soon, the registered participants will be able to, if you set up your account so that you're visible to other participants, you will be able to see the other visible participants within this website, so that you can network and maybe try to find people that may be interested for you. So that will be available, not quite yet, but it'll be available very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yuka. That was actually a question that when somebody else about Vuva will be used or similar services, and that's what we said, that we are not using Vuva, but we are trying to provide something similar with the framework of InBing, which is the current event software. Well, I think we have exhausted the set of questions, and I offer this as perhaps a last opportunity to put more questions forward, provided you have one. There's one here. Can interested speakers still apply? And how? I'm not quite sure. Apply for what? To be a speaker that is not application-based, but if you are willing to present something in the speaker's corner, that is a different story, and that is certainly possible. Any further questions, colleagues? I do not see this being the case, and slowly we come to the end of the session. So maybe I would give the floor back to the. So before I do that, so again, the more than 30% virtual participation session, or there was a reverse or inverse question asking about the 70% physical, and this is what we answered, that the situation is currently monitored and constantly monitored, but maybe Dr. Park is willing to address this this question on how the Secretariat is about to deal with the challenge here.
Thank you, Peter. Actually, the 30% is the kind of the guideline, so there is not a strict maybe the criteria. So if you have maybe 35% of the speakers wants to join through the online, that's fine. So, but a Secretariat would like to ask the organizer to consider the more than 8,000 audience is waiting for your the speakers and panelists at the venue. So please consider this physical audience, and then Secretariat recommend the 30%, less than 30% of the participants can be join the session through the online, but maybe this is not a strict criteria. So maybe depending on the organizer's decision, so you can consider some flexibility. But again, Secretariat asked the organizer to consider the more than 8,000 of the physical audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park. Angela?
Yes, thank you. So if I could just add on to what Dr. Park just answered. So the participation the virtual participation is mostly talking about these speakers. And so we would like to have most of our speakers at the Congress on site. But for participation in general, as in our general participation audiences, we would welcome however many you would like to come in and watch the session, and as well be a part of the audience. And so there's no restriction for the general audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela, very helpful. And then there is another question asking about when specific program will be published. This is something that my colleague Yuka was referring to in her presentation. So this service of the website is already active, and we are amending it constantly. So if you go to the program, then you will be immediately taken to an online system that provides you with full details, description of the session, the timetables, the speakers, and all these. So I would like to encourage you to visit that part of the website, which is active since yesterday. Yuka, you may wish to amend this.
No, nothing to amend, Peter, just that the speakers are not there just yet, but they will be up very soon.
Thank you. And then all other information related to the session logistics, room, facilities, etc. The same system will provide you this information so that you can have, it's not only a timetable, it's not only a description of the program, it's not only a repository of the speakers, but it's also a programming device. So you will see what is going on where, so you will be able to follow. I'm answering the last questions that popped up, the last question that popped up in the chat. Through this system, you will be able to follow what is happening in the different sessions and decide which one you want to attend. You can do it while you are there physically, or you can do it virtually if you are a remote participant. That will be all at your fingertips. And I guess the time is more or less up, so maybe I would like to give back the floor to the Secretary General for some closing remarks, and over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for your wonderful comments and questions. Actually, due to the time limit, we missed some detailed part of your question. So we will keep your question from the text chat message, and then we will review, and then we will post the answer on the website, or we will keep in touch with you to send more detailed information. So please keep in touch with us, Secretariat, and you can also get lots of information about the World Forest Congress on our official website. So please visit our website and then check the update of our information. For example, the quarantine measures or quarantine policies, maybe every week Korean government announced the new policies. So we will update our new policies right after the government announced. And also regarding the visa issuance, maybe you have some problem in your country to get the visa from the Korean embassies. Maybe if you have any problems, as my colleague Angela already shared, maybe just let us know. Don't hesitate, and then we can check the status, and then we will try to our best to provide the relevant service for you. So thank you very much for your time and comments, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park. Thank you all colleagues. That was a very enriching discussion. We hope rather to see you all in Seoul. And also we take very seriously the proposal and the potential webinar for the side event organizers. And I hope that we will be able to hold this to clarify further issues that are of interest to those colleagues who are taking the burden and organizing the side event there. Again, thank you very much, everybody, and then see everybody in Seoul. Thank you. Good night, good afternoon, or good day.